Hello and welcome to the Kuribros, a Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime recap podcast. I'm your host Phoenix, and I'm not doing a damn thing this recording because Andy is covering all of the material, because this time we're talking about the Yu-Gi-Oh! Spin-off manga, Yu-Gi-Oh! R. Andy, how you doing?
Hi, I'm here. This is me. Phoenix took the last episode, and I'm taking this episode for the most part.
Oh, also because I feel like we should be upfront on this stuff. It's been like the recording schedule's been fucked because my computer exploded again and Andy went on vacation. So we've had some downtime, so we're a little out of practice.
So it'll be really fun to kind of do a wing it episode first thing right off the bat. But hey, then we're getting into season 4, which is very exciting for all of us, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're recording 2 episodes back to back.
So you'll hear the next episode you'll hear also be us the same day. Not that you really care, but
Yeah.
It's kind of fine for us. This is going to be a short one anyway, because there's not... I thought there'd be more to talk about with this, but I'll kind of go over the basis and kind of my thoughts and everything, and just kind of like maybe some timeline stuff and everything. So just to basically start it off, and we'll kind of go into discussion as we go on. Feel free to chime in whenever you want to like comment on anything. But basically what Yu-Gi-Oh! R is after the original manga finished, they decided, I guess Shonen Jump decided to have just a spin-off still with the same Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters, and it is actually based in between the arcs of Battle City, which we just finished up, which is why we want to do this, and the final manga arc, which is Millennium World, which we'll get to maybe in 3 years from now. Basically what this is kind of like, instead of doing Waking the Dragons and the Grand Championship in the anime, Yu-Gi-Oh! R takes place following the whole Battle City tournament and everything, and it actually kind of continues on the story of Duelist Kingdom in a way, as we find out that Maximilian Pegasus had a few adopted children.
Which is weird for someone who was like 22.
And you think I'm saying, when I say, and I thought it was like 1 or 2, it is a few. Apparently he adopted like a few kids and like taught them how to duel and be the best duelists and everything, and like kind of like work out the card game.
Is this like how Light in Death Note had like 2 understudies who were like kind of his kids?
Kind of. Not really. Well, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, in a way, maybe those 2 for the main 2 people, but a little different. So basically, the antagonist is named Yako Tenma. He is the protege of Maximilian Pegasus. Like, he was the best duelist that like Pegasus taught and everything, and saw, great potential in him to like succeed him one day and everything. And he found the dead body of Pegasus after Bakura took his eye.
So 2 questions. Number 1, do Pegasus's army of child duelist soldiers know about his evil plan to take people's souls for some purpose?
I don't think so. I don't think he really took the Millennium stuff to like public, or like to like a I don't think he was like mixing with that as far as like the dual monster stuff. I think that was just strictly a Yugi thing, and I guess technically Kaiba too, but he's technically involved in all of it, as you later learn. They don't really talk about Millennium stuff too much in this, or that I can remember.
Second point of order. When you said his name, all I could think of was Yakko Warner from Animaniacs. So that is who the antagonist is in my mind for the rest of this episode.
Okay, that sounds good, because Yako Tenman does have a twin brother named Gecko.
No.
Which we'll find out about later. So Yako or Yako, I don't know if it's Yako or Yako.
1K
it might
or
be
2?
Yako. It's 1K, so it's probably Yako.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm looking at the translation, and that seems to be what it is. So I'll just say it like that, Yako.
Do you think if Konami won't give us a full Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters reboot to cover the Let Us Do a Yu-Gi-Oh! R1?
I mean, see, this is one of my things about it, is it kind of works as like an anime filler arc in a lot of ways. Like, it's very episodic, which is also manga in general, but they found a way to kind of make a normal chapter a duel like every chapter for a little while. 1 to 2 chapters maybe.
How many chapters was Yu-Gi-Oh! R?
It was about,
I think you said something like 40?
Yeah, it's about like 42, but I'm pretty sure there's I don't know if 44. And there's also, I think it's technically actually 45, because I'm pretty sure there's a special chapter that I read later just found out now. But they don't add the special chapters to the Shonen Jump app for some reason. Like they're what was the name? Jocko from Dragon Ball Super, the Frieza movie. Remember that alien cop? He's from a old not old, but like his own manga series that's connected to the Dragon Ball series. Called like Jocko the Space Officer or whatever. I'm paraphrasing on the name, but either way, he had his own, and they don't have the final special chapter of that when you want to read it on the Shonen Jump app. And the same thing with this is it has the main story, but apparently there's a special chapter at the end. I just found out about today, literally, that this, I guess he's another one of the card professors, but he tries to take over the Grandpa Moto's card shop. And that's really all that's like, I didn't find much more about it, but it's like this kind of like after special chapter. So about 45 chapters. It goes pretty quick, but it feels a little longer sometimes, and I'll kind of explain why. Because I was like kind of skimming through it, and I got to like 15. I felt like we were going through so much of the plot already, but also just doing a whole lot of nothing and sometimes. So basically, Yako finds Pegasus dead and is like wondering what happened. And you know the one servant with the mustache and the glasses and the kind of like not the comb over hair, but you know what I'm talking about, the one.
Yeah, the guy's like always with Pegasus Croquet, I think is his name.
Yeah, Croquet, exactly. He says this was Yugi's doing. Like he said Yugi did this.
Well, that was a lie.
Which is kind of crazy, especially maybe he felt slighted because Yugi beat Pegasus and kind of ruined everything, and he felt like there was a revenge. I also think there was another influence at play, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure someone will find out about later was also influencing that decision, and also these cards that I'm about to bring up. Either way, so after he finds Pegasus's dead body, he is told that Yugi's the one who did it, so he plots his revenge. Plots up this whole scheme where he basically takes over the Kaiba Corporation and confronts Yugi, faces him in a fake duel. I say fake because it didn't get finished. Reveals that he has evil god cards that are...
Question.
What? Yes.
Are these the wicked monsters?
Yes, they're the wicked gods.
Okay, that's where they came from. Because I remember them being like weird 3 tribute monsters. And I was like, what the fuck is your guys' relevance when like the actual cards came out? And I guess they were from this.
Yeah, this is definitely where they're from. Fun fact. So,
question.
Before
another follow-up question. Does this is probably spoilers, but it might not be. Does Bandit Keith use one?
Yes. I was going to bring that up later, but yeah. A lot of
things are coming together now. Because I've seen things with Bandit Keith associated with the Wicked cards, and I was like, what the fuck? That's not a robot. Get that out of here.
Yeah, Bandit Keith's basically the number 2 of this, which is the big kind of reveal.
That's like, also weird that Bandit Keith would team up with the guy who wants to avenge Pegasus when Bandit Keith wanted to shoot Pegasus with an actual gun. And also was shot with an actual gun by Pegasus.
Well, he shot with his own hand little gun. That's not really his own gun. Anyway, the way he kind of explains it is Pegasus is dead. I can't do anything really about that, but I do have Joey, so I'm gonna kill that. I'm gonna kill that little fucker. I'm gonna kill that little fucker.
Sure.
So that's kind of his thing. He's hoping for the revenge. Obviously, he wants to kill Yugi too, because Yugi also is like kind of the catalyst of the whole thing. But like he sets his sights on Joey for a lot of it. So basically, he confronts Yugi. They have a duel. He reveals one of the wicked gods. This one is one of the main ones. It's the counterpart to the Winged Dragon. These are counterparts to the regular god cards, and this one is the counterpart to Ra, called the Wicked Avatar. It looks like the Ra in sphere mode.
It's a ball.
Yeah, it's a ball. And it always has one more attack point than the strongest monster on the field.
Very funny card.
Very trolly kind of card, which is insane. Basically uses that, catches Yugi off guard. Then you find out he isn't really there, and he takes Taya, and basically uses Taya as like a, what's the word? Like a basic, like as a shell, like a vessel? Person to vessel. That's a good word. to basically he wants to bring back Pegasus, and he's gonna use the Yugi's loved one to do it.
He's gonna put Pegasus into Taya.
I think like swapping souls, so like Pegasus comes back and Taya goes, kind of
like
thing.
a
Is how
sacrifice trade, deal with the devil type thing.
I think that's what I think it is. Like so basically,
yeah, hell is a revolving door, one man in, one man out.
Yeah, it's like that. It's something, it's the shadows. He's basically influenced by these wicked god cards and everything, and believes their power can bring back Pegasus. So basically, what has to happen is
Oh my god, these are just evil god cards. I'm looking at the arts for them.
Yeah, it's literally just like Dreadroot's obelisk.
Dreadroot's obelisk, Eraser's Slifer, Avatar's Ra.
Eraser's the one that Keith has. So basically, what Yu-Gi-Oh! Art is for at least the first half of it is every 1 to 2 chapters, Yugi and Joey are dueling someone. The arc likes to use what's called card professors, like the card professors, like Bandit Keith. So they kind of use that as the way to kind of get the minion duelists, and like still justify their being like ones that duel Yugi and Joey, as they are card professors, so they're like professional, whatever, very like talented duelists. They lose mostly in once every chapter, and a lot of them I learned today actually are named after processing chips or like computer processor chips or like video game ones. Like Gecko Tenma is the name of the microprocessor chip in the GameCube.
Oh.
And
does he also have a handle so you can just fling him around and beat someone to death with him?
No.
Weird.
No, he does not. He just has an elf deck.
That's also weird.
I don't know. That's what he has. There's stuff that's like, was also the pre-release code name for the embedded 266 MHz Intel Pentium MMX chip.
You better buy me dinner if you're going to talk to me like that.
I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. There's like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're all down here. There's about 13 card professors that they go through. Like Yugi fights goes against one that's like a warrior deck, a vampire deck, a machine deck.
We already have a professor with a machine deck.
This is a different one. He fights an old woman in a chair whose dual disc is like a tray table all over the wheelchair.
Okay.
Kind of, which is fine. It's kind of a neat. It's like one of the only designs that like are different for the dual discs in this one. There's one other one. There's like a beast deck. There's even a guy who like is trying to stop Yugi mid like final push of the arc. And he's just like, I'll duel you. And he's like, get out of my way, Slifer, and just bulldozes through him. And they're just, it's all kind of like 1 to 2 chapters. Some are better duels than others. Joey goes up against a few. Kaiba goes against like one who has like a White Horned Dragon deck. So that's his opposite, I guess. The guy was like, I want to know if your Blue Eyes deck is better than my White Horned Dragon deck. And he beats him in like 3 turns or something.
The answer is yes.
Yeah, so the answer is yes. Eventually, Yugi runs into Gecko Tenma, who was acting as the twin for a moment, and dueled Yugi with a fake version of Yako's deck. And then he's like, actually, I don't want to be bad. I want to be good. So I'm going to duel with you, Yugi. And basically what they have to do is they're going through the tower, and if they lose, they have to go. They can't go any farther. The card professors have like keys and like things that get them to the next level and everything.
I think there's a Bruce Lee movie that does the same thing.
It's probably it's something. It's very like meat and potatoes kind of plot of just like beat a bunch of guys, get to the top, beat the final boss. Very straightforward. Kind of drags on a little bit with like, it's like the problem is, I feel, is they keep doing the same thing for quite a few chapters of just beating card professors, and little plots actually developed. Like there's little things here and there, but for a while it just is kind of that. So it just ends up being a little repetitive. Like they do different moves, and the strategy isn't always the same. and Yugi and Joey find creative ways to get out of things, which is nice. But overall, it's just kind of like, okay, but what is this? We know what this is working towards. I just want to kind of get there. But eventually they do. At one point, Yugi and Joey separate, so that's why Yugi's with Gecko. And they get to like the final card professors. The last one before Bandit Keith is Richie Mercedes. And he was another one of the adopted sons of Pegasus, and he duels Gecko and wins. And Gecko kind of stupidly was like, if I duel, it's Yugi's win or loss. Like, I'll duel for you, kind of thing. And he loses, so they can't go by any farther. But then they say, fuck that shit, we got to go anyway. So I don't understand. It really didn't matter.
That's really weird and dumb.
I know. There's like some like, that's the pacing is the big issue, and sometimes like they kind of write themselves into a hole. But overall, like, it does okay. Then it gets to the pretty formulaic, like Kaiba goes against the big bad and loses. And was like fighting for his company, so like he lost control of his company for a second. Then Yugi comes, has his duel, figures out a way to beat the avatars or the wicked gods, and they win. Yako sees the error of his ways, and you kind of realize like Keith was one of the most evil ones in the bunch. Joey does have his duel with like rematch with Keith, and it's a pretty good duel. He kind of wins with the same time. Like Joey uses the time machine card again, I'm pretty sure, and everything to like kind of get his win again, and it's pretty cool. There was a what was the other thing? There was a black dual disc that the best card professor ever, so quote unquote Bandit Keith, had, and Joey took it, so he had a cool black dual disc for like a couple chapters, and then he gave it away for some stupid reason.
Probably had to pay for some surgery.
No, he gave it to like one of the other card professors. Like, here, it's yours. You're the greatest card professor, so you've earned it, or some shit like that. But overall,
I don't think that's how that works.
I don't know.
Did Bandit Keith die again?
It seems like it. I think. So it says here, Keith like lets go of his grudge, and to fight him for fun after the duel with Joey, Keith slumped up against the wall, collapsed. So I don't know if he's dead again, or he's just kind of like...
Well, the bad news is he is American, so he doesn't have health care.
Yeah, he's screwed. Yeah, everyone gets the rematch, and overall, I kind of just like... It's as good as a filler arc of Yu-Gi-Oh! But like one of the better ones, I should say, if we're kind of giving like a what's it called? A kind of review. It kind of just drags a little bit in the beginning, but once it kind of gets going, you kind of get that same Yu-Gi-Oh! Feel. This wasn't written by Kazuki Takahashi. I meant to say this beginning. It's actually written by Akira Ito, who was, I think he was an assistant of Kazuki Takahashi's at first. Obviously, Takahashi oversaw it, but kind of a cool tidbit, because I thought he went on to do the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX manga, but I don't think he did. He did end up co-creating Card Fight Vanguard.
Oh, that's neat.
With the guy who did Duel Masters.
Able to keep his career sort of thematically in-house. Yeah,
it was kind of cool. Like, I guess that's the Takahashi influence rubbing off on them. It's like, what, the third or fourth? Well, I don't know how many popular card games there are, but it used to be pretty popular. I don't know if it still is.
Hey, it's one that people still know and play by name. It's still on shelves.
Yeah, it is. It's one of the only ones I still see at card shops.
I think I actually played a little bit of that back when like it first made its appearance, but I didn't keep up with it as much.
No, I was getting back into Pokemon for a minute, and that was another one of the bigger card games people were playing when I would go to like locals or anything. But that was a kind of a cool little tidbit to learn. But it kind of suffers from the same filler arc issues where it's a cool idea and concept, like having a guy come back to avenge Pegasus for a misunderstanding, has like these evil, powerful counters to the Egyptian god cards, and has like a twin brother that also is conflicted with like whose side to be on and everything, but wants to save his brother. Card professors are not the worst kind of idea to kind of use as it's something we haven't really explored in Yu-Gi-Oh! Up until now, and they kind of use it in the kind of like one-off character way, but I think it was fine. I just think it could have been executed a little better. So it is kind of crazy that this never got adapted into the anime. But I guess that was because it was it was around when like the anime was ending too. I'm pretty sure the anime ended in 2024, 2026.
Yeah, about that time.
This came out soon after the manga ended for Yu-Gi-Oh! And we know this because Lil Yugi actually goes into a duel. And I was wondering, how did they know what cards he had if this was in between the stuff? And that's how I found out this was made after Yu-Gi-Oh! Was done. So that was cool to see. And like it was like cool to see cards that were not in with the Battle City arc and everything. Like I'm pretty sure Tricky, the Yugi card.
Yeah.
I don't think that ever was played.
And I'm
during
pretty sure
Battle
Tricky
City
is a Pharaoh card.
Yeah, Pharaoh did play it.
Yeah.
But but we didn't see it in Battle City, I don't think.
Nope.
So it was pretty cool. Like it was like I enjoyed it pretty okay. Like I don't think I'd revisit it too much more often because it doesn't really feel like it has some of the feel of the Yu-Gi-Oh manga, but it doesn't have like the overall kind of like same story kind of pacing that the other one does. Because like I think with the manga in the Takahashi's manga, card games were used as battles. But then I think after the Yu-Gi-Oh manga was done, they kind of saw it as a way to make chapters out of duels. Like I remember reading a few chapters of the Yu-Gi-Oh GX manga, and I haven't really gone past that yet. But it's the same kind of thing where there's a duel probably every or almost every other chapter, and kind of like the show. And it just kind of is like, okay, week by week, and then suddenly the plot happens. But with the Yu-Gi-Oh, it's kind of like the story happens and the duels happen around the story. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's kind of where the story does suffer a little bit doing that formula. But once it gets good and like all the kind of
once we get through the fodder,
it's just that's the thing is it's so much fodder. Like the first like 20 chapters are like, besides like a couple exceptions, is just 1 chapter, 2 chapter duels. It's Yugi, like Joey, then another Yugi, then another Joey, then maybe a break chapter, then another Yugi and Joey, Kaiba. Then it's cool to see everyone duel in different strategies and everything, but it could have been like a couple chapters less, or a few less of these card professors. But I get it. You wanted this to probably last for as long as you probably could. It's to make money. It's probably because Yu-Gi-Oh is done, so they wanted to make sure they had something kind of in the old pocket there, or the old whatever, to kind of alleviate that blow. But I don't know. It was pretty cool. I'd recommend it if you are into Yu-Gi-Oh.
Neat.
No, I give it a chance. I'd give it probably like a 7 out of 10 if I had to give it like a score.
Well, all right.
That's pretty much it. I don't really have much more else to say about it. Go check it out if you want. If not, please stay tuned because we will be doing our season 4 coverage in the next episode.
Yeah, we'll be doing that in like 2 minutes.
Probably a little longer, but we'll get there.
Yeah. We're back to real Yu-Gi-Oh! We're done our mid-season between specials. We did Pyramid of Light. We did this. Now we're getting back to the... Well, I can't really say it's like real stuff because I'm pretty sure like none of this is in the manga.
No, none of it. Nope. I have no manga to read till we get the Millennium World.
There you go. Nothing is real.
Nothing is real for the next like forever, but we'll get there. All right. Let's do this. Like we don't need to do the. What do you?
No,
let's just sign up.
Doing
My
our
name's
social and stuff. I'm Phoenix. He's Andy. See you next one.
Skiddy up and goodbye.